Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good afternoon, I guess, if you're in the East Coast. For those of you that were up late watching the Dodgers game, hope you're caffeinated. But hey, everyone, welcome. I'm Ricardo Bueno with Real Geeks, and I'm really excited for today's session. We're going to dive into how to actually attract clients on Instagram without relying on those sort of overused, just listed, just sold posts that you see everyone sort of posting. I want to say it's kind of our default. Quick intro. I'm a technologist. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a technologist and marketing nerd who's been in real estate for about 12 years. Time really does fly, I guess. I've worked with agents, teams, and coaches across the country, helping them turn tech into transactions. These days, I'm a brand ambassador for Real Geeks, which basically means I get to hang out with smart agents like you and show you how to make your marketing system hopefully print money while you sleep or at least while you're out showing homes. I'm going to get through a couple of housekeeping items before we jump in, just to answer some questions that you might be thinking about. Yes, this session is being recorded, so if you registered, have to cut out early, you're going to get a replay once we're done. Just give it a sec, it'll pop right into your inbox. If you have questions, drop them into the Zoom Q&A or the chat. I'll try to get to it as best I can as we kind of go through, but we'll get to any questions at the end and as we're working along. And then make sure you stick through to the end. We have some special webinar offers for those of you that are joining us today. So let's get to it. What can you expect in the next 45 minutes? First, how to build a client attraction system that hopefully runs on autopilot. That's what I want you to think about. I'm an automation junkie. As much as we can delegate or automate what we do in our business, the better we are for it. Because you don't want to spend all day chasing and stressing over client attraction, marketing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Second, how to create messaging that actually connects with your ideal clients. So you're not scrambling and feeling like you have to check a box and do the thing just because you're going through a checklist. Third is how to stand out from the noise with content that positions you as the authority in your market. If you can establish yourself as the go-to authority in your market, then you're winning the game, so to speak. And then finally, how to turn those followers into motivated buyers and sellers. So let's get into it. We went through. You've been getting our marketing emails. Why does Instagram still work for agents? I get this question a lot. Is Instagram really even worth it anymore? My answer is absolutely. You just have to play the game smarter. I don't think that Instagram is dead. I think it's allergic to boring content. So we need to rethink our content strategy. When you understand how to show up with purpose and with consistency, it legitimately becomes a client generating machine. And so our special guest for you here today, Jess, is going to teach you exactly how to do that. So enough talking, enough babbling, because I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm thrilled to be joined by Jess Lenovo. She's the author of More Money, Less Hustle and the host of the Listing Labs podcast. Her last 5 years, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, because I might be getting my stats wrong, but in her last 5 years as an agent, she sold over 300 million in real estate before shifting into coaching. She's helped over 20,000 agents build scalable, sustainable businesses, and she knows what it takes to attract clients through trust and authority. Everything we do, you need to be building trust and authority. And she's going to share exactly how to do that on Instagram. Jess, welcome. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much. Yeah, I mean, all of my business came from social media, or came from digital sources. And we did as a very, very lean team, we did 200 to 250 deals a year from those digital sources.
That's awesome.
Instagram being one of them. Now I've kind of shifted into doing this, teaching agents how to do what I did. And the tools that we have access to now are 100 times better than we had when I was selling. So I'm really excited about doing this with you guys today because I also think there is this almost like default way that agents use Instagram.
For sure.
And everyone's just out there copying each other and doing the same stuff. And Ricardo said something that I think is like, if you take one thing away from this, I think he's already said it. And it's that like Instagram is allergic to boring content. And Instagram is also allergic to self-serving, self-promotional content.
Yep.
And so a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is going to kind of break down not only how to use Instagram, but also how to set yourself up for success. And I look at hundreds of Instagram profiles from agents every day. And let me tell you, there's like maybe one in 1,000 that's memorable. So, this training is called the 3 steps to getting consistent clients from social media or from Instagram. And it's really for agents who want to start to leverage social media or who are already, and want to get away from more traditional marketing because they've seen the success. A lot of people have seen the success that agents have had.
Hmm.
And they're like, I just don't understand why I'm not getting or having the same success. And a lot of it comes down to there's a lot of people in real estate who see themselves as agents and they don't see themselves as marketers. And the number one reason why I was more successful than a lot of people were in my market as an agent was not because I was a better agent. And whether that's fair or it's not, I was just a better marketer. I was better at getting people to choose me. And so I had more business than probably someone who was a better agent than I was. And so the key to a lot of this is that if you're not able to develop a consistent and predictable marketing strategy that generates you clients, not to, you'll see that I'm not using the word lead here.
Yeah.
Generates you clients. You are always going to feel like you're stuck inside of a business that's spinning their wheels, right? You're always going to feel like you're on this hamster wheel of, I call it random acts of marketing where like people will, you get busy, you stop marketing, and then you essentially like use up all your clients, and then you send out some like random things to try to generate a little bit more business. And so there's this constant roller coaster of feast and famine in your business. And so it does
It's
feel
a
really
it's a
stressful.
hard hustle
It's
cycle.
a hard, and honestly, it's like one of the most stressful ways to live. Like never knowing where your next client's coming from.
Hmm.
The reality is too is that like even if you are kind of crappy at social media, you still have 10 to 15 clients sitting in your network right now. And a lot of it just comes down to you don't know what to do or you don't know what to say in order to pull them out. So, what we are going to go through in detail today is the system for taking everything that you already know. Because, like, you don't have to learn new things about real estate in order to create content. You just have to know how to take the things that you say every day and turn them into content, right? So, how are you going to do that? And how are you going to do this in a way that feels authentic and good? There's a lot of people out there that will teach you things that feel gross. And I don't want any of this to feel gross. I want this to feel in integrity. I want it to feel like you're just literally amplifying, who you actually are as an agent. We've already gone through all this. Um, I am super introverted. So, like, that's one of the other reasons why I love social media is that if you say to me, go and talk to 10,000 people today, I will die and I will curl into the corner and I will like not move. But I can very easily talk to 10,000 people on Facebook and Instagram in a day. Like no problem. And so not only is it, and even if you're an extrovert, even if you love the peopling, you can still be more effective in terms of energy for results through social media. And the number one mistake, I'm going to start with this. The number one mistake that I see people make is that they have two Instagram accounts. They have their personal Instagram account and then they have their business Instagram account. And what happens when you have separate accounts? Your personal account is where all the fun stuff happens. And your business account is not only really boring, but also has no personal content on it. And so the idea here is that if you're doing a really good job at creating a community and an audience, everybody wants to be a part of it. Your friends,
Mhm.
your family, the parents from your kids' school, and
We want to support you.
all your clients. Exactly. Right. And so like I have people from all areas of my life that follow me on Instagram, and my Instagram is very much real estate agent focused, right? And so you need one account. because no one can manage like multiple accounts really, really well and create high quality content in multiple places when it comes to one platform. So we're going to kind of talk through like the three steps of this, and I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can. So if you hear a beep, I'm sorry, or like any background noise, that's my ManyChat from my Instagram that is making noise. Okay, so like I'm walking the walk. Um, so social profile funnel, client-centric messaging, and captivating and convincing content. Those are your three things that you need in order to be really successful. The first step is actually before you even create content. It's how is your account actually set up? How is your account set up to take someone in the 2 to 3 seconds that you have when they land on your profile and convert them into a follower or someone who wants to binge your content? So I'm going to use Brittany as an example because she's always had a really strategically well set up profile. You'll see right off the bat that, let me see here. There we go. So you'll see there's a couple of things that we have set up here that will perform well for her. The first thing is her name field. So your name field is one of the main SEO places that Instagram will pull from when someone is searching. So yes, she has her name in there, but she also has Fredericton Realtor. So having your role and your market in your name in the name section of your profile, if you look at mine, I don't even have my name there. Like
Hmm.
I'm using the whole thing for keywords. But if your name is Sally Jones and you are a Miami realtor, I want to see that in the name field so that when
Hmm.
someone searches for Miami real estate agent or Miami realtor, you are going to show up as an option because your name field is set up correctly.
You're not buried with the other
You're
dozens of
not
Sally
buried with,
Joneses.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The other thing too that people often, I would say, don't do well is their profile picture. Headshots, I am a believer that in 2025, headshots don't have a place in your marketing anymore. Like professional headshots. I just don't think that I don't think that they're drawing anybody in. I don't think anybody's having like an emotional reaction to them. I think that they've become very like your grandmother's
No,
real estate
no,
agent.
no stuffy passport photos.
100%, right? And one of the things that Brittany's done really well here is that she is bright, she is well lit, she's looking at the camera, but there is a subtle hint of personality.
Hmm.
And it's the sunglasses. The sunglasses give people a very clear idea of what they can expect from her account. She is a cool, relaxed person. And so having those sunglasses there is very on brand for her. And so it all feels very cohesive. The next thing is the actual like bio itself. Now, if you're not on a team, you obviously like wouldn't need this section. She is on a team. I've worked with her team for a couple of years, and between the four women on that team, they pull 140 to 150 deals a year from Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so understanding that, we have strategically set up every single person on this team with a different niche, with a different bio, and with a different specialty, and with a different service package. So you can see it's very, very clear here. I help millennial homeowners sell their starter homes and upsize. I like to have a value proposition statement followed by either PR or some kind of social proof if possible. So I have another team that is in the Toronto area that I have that, they've sold $500 million worth of real estate. That's the PR we have in there. I have other people who are like featured in this newspaper or this publication or just something that is going to give you credibility. What we don't want is like I'm top 5% in my market or I'm top 5% in my brokerage of 10 people, right? Like we want something that's legitimately going to create to create credibility. And then last but not least, we have a call to action. So I always say, do not put your website as the only call to action in your profile. We want to have something that also, we want to drive also to something that, yes, will end up on your website, right? Like we'll end up like with an email and a name capture, but give them something else. Don't just say like go to my website and fish around, right? Like say download my guide or download my millennial homeowners guide or whatever, and then send them to the website that or a landing page or something that you have connected to everything that you've built with Real Geeks, and and drive that download and then send that asset out by email. So you're giving value from the first second, right? So many people's profiles look something like this in real estate, and this says nothing. This just says I am like every other real estate agent out there, right? I am an award-winning realtor. What does that mean? Like here I have I have an electrical engineering degree. Who cares? Right? I can help you buy, sell, rent, and invest from here to Timbuktu. Like that sounds like every other agent out there. There's nothing here that's special, and there's nothing there that's actually going to draw someone in and say, oh, this person is for me. And your personal profile, your Instagram profile is money waiting to be made all the time, right? So if you wanted to take a screenshot, this is kind of it completely broken down in terms of how you want the profile set up, right? So just like I said, name, location, profile, value prop, credibility, call to action, and then I will in a little bit get into the 9 different types of content that will take someone from stranger to client. And that really becomes the client generation machine, right? So like I said before, Brittany and her team do about 140 plus deals per year from social media, especially Instagram alone. Instagram is their
Pe-
primary lead generation method organically.
People want to work with people they know, like, and trust.
100%. And in their market, like they're in a small market. Fredericton is not a big market, right? It's not like they're not, they own more than 10% of the, like as a
That's
team,
wild.
they own more than 10% of the deals that happen in their market.
That's not nothing. That's a
And they
big
don't run
something.
any paid traffic. Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Right? It 100% comes from their content, and it comes from like essentially like this structure. So the next step two, phase two, zone two, whatever you want to call it, is your messaging, right? So your marketing currently is getting you what you're asking for. If you're getting crickets, it means you're not activating anyone. If you're getting crazies, it means there's something about your content that is bringing you the crazies, right? So what we want to do is
Um,
really nail the messaging. And first I want to address the mistakes that most people make, because those mistakes can really impact your results. It's almost like if you start making one of these mistakes, it doesn't matter how good everything else is, it still won't work. It won't convert. So the 3 main mistakes that we see is number one, agents are making it 100% about them. Number two, they're trying to speak to everyone. And number three, they're letting some teenager create their content for them. Right? I see it so much where it's like, oh, I hired my cousin's daughter who's, 19 and she's grown up with social media. I'm like, yeah, but she is not a business owner. And she is not like someone who lives and breathes your business. Like she can't create messaging. And just because someone knows how to post with a fancy edit does not social media like success make. So the first mistake is it's not all about you, it's about your clients. So often people wake up in the morning and they're like, what do I want to post about today?
hmm
And instead of asking yourself, what does my ideal client need to hear from me today? Your content, even though it's being delivered out of your face, it is for them. And so it's all of service to your ideal clients. And so it's not really about you. It's about them, and it's about them feeling understood and seen by you. So if I'm going to give you like a one-liner cliche, it's really good content is being able to articulate what's in the back of your ideal client's head better than they can. If you can do that, they will automatically credit you with having the right solution or being the right person for them. Another way of looking at this, or another way of saying kind of the same thing, is that most agents think that their marketing and their content is so that their clients understand them. But it's the opposite. It's so that your clients feel understood by you. So it's not about you, it's about them. And you need a targeted and detailed message that addresses their pains, their problems, their fears, their desires in order to build that know, like, and trust. The second piece is that if you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And there is so much real estate agent noise on social media. This is why we've got agents whose reels are getting 200 views. This is why you've got agents who, can't break 1,000 followers. And it's because you're trying to be everything to everyone. I can help you buy, sell, rent, and invest anywhere you want. Basically, what you're saying to people is, I'll take what I can get. I I'll take what I can get. I'm desperate for business,
Commission
and
commission breath.
100%. And I know that's not the intention that you have when you put something
Hmm.
like that out there, right? But the way that we've been taught, like, that the cliche of like, I'm never too busy for your referrals, like, it's so old school, yucky, cringy salesperson that we don't even realize it because we live and breathe this like real estate cliche world every day. But what it actually sounds like to the people who are consuming your content is you're actually doing more harm than good with stuff like that. So you need a niche, you need an audience. You need to be speaking to a specific group of people who have a human problem. And a niche is not a type of home. I say this and people get so up in arms. Luxury is not a niche. Luxury is people with money. And if you won't put out there in your marketing, I only work with people with money, which you probably wouldn't because it feels gross and sounds kind of gross, then you need to ask yourself, who are the people that I want to attract? Who are the people in that price point who are transacting? Are they upsizers? Are they downsizers? Are they investors? Are they seasoned investors? Are they professionals? Are they like, who are these people? And niche down to the people, not to the price point, right? And so, a niche is a group of humans with a shared problem. Single professional women in New York, young families, dog owners living in condos, right? That way we can create psychologically driven content that actually pulls people in. And I know what you're thinking. Am I gonna lose business from all of those other people? No. Your repeat and referral business will not change. Your repeat and referral business actually may get stronger. What we usually find with our clients is that when they start posting niche driven content, their repeat and referrals actually go up because people start to see them even more as like a specialized expert.
Hmm.
So if you want higher quality clients, especially when it comes from a digital source, you have to solve higher quality problems through your content. And the way that you do that is by market research interviews. As a gift to you guys, I will give you all of the market research interview questions. Ricardo can send it out after for that we use with our clients, and we do this research over Zoom or on the phone or in person. We never email the questions. Gone are the days when surveys are
You
something that are
get you
effective.
get you get better honest answers that
You
way.
sure do,
You
and
get
you
the
also
insightful stuff.
you don't get the person who's like on their phone at a stoplight who's like half paying attention, like clicking on a button, right? You
Uh,
want the deeper stuff. And you also need the ability to like ask and probe further, right?
mhm.
Like, what do you mean by that? How did that show up for you? Like asking the deeper questions so that you can actually get into like the root of why that person moved. Because people don't move because it's fun. It's not fun. It's fun for us because we make money, but like it's not actually fun for most people, right? So
It
so
sucks.
it sucks, right? And so the reality is people move because there's something in their current situation that they believe that they can make better in a new location, in a bigger house, with a backyard, whatever that looks like, right? So we need to understand those things in order to create content that speaks to people, right? Emotionally driven content will outperform anything else. And then that strong messaging, once you nail it down, it actually allows you to create or present a specific solution to your ideal client, right? So it becomes your service package because all businesses have products and services, except real estate agents. Real estate agents just sell themselves as magic. And so if you don't have a product or a service, not only are you less credible online, but you also are less scalable as a business because you start to hire, you want to hire a buyer's agent on your team. And then they're like, well, why would I work with Sarah when you've been telling me for the last 10 years that you're magic? Right. And Sarah's
Mhm.
not you. So like that, and so it becomes really difficult to scale. And all businesses, like I said, provide products or services. Your signature system becomes your scalable service package. It becomes the predictable way that you get your clients' results. And it's also the thing that differentiates you, right? So then your message speaks to your clients or your ideal clients, you stop competing. This is the other key to this, right? An inbound client doesn't haggle. Right. And so someone comes to you, someone's not going to come to you and be like, oh my God, I feel like you're inside my head. I feel like you're like literally like reading my mind. There's no one else that I want to work with. Will you do it for 1%? Like that's not the way that the conversation goes. The conversation goes, are you taking on clients right now? It's a completely different power dynamic. And then it creates a domino effect, right? The one perfect fit client leads to the next, leads to the next. So when you speak to the right person, all of those referrals start to take care of themselves. And the example that I gave earlier of Brittany, where I used her profile and I said they're doing 140, 150 deals a year from Instagram. I was talking to the team lead the other day. Her name's Karen. And Karen was like, yeah, like one of my longtime clients, like she's done like over the years, she's done like 7 or 8 deals with me. She messaged me the other day and was like, hey, like we want to sell. Can we work with Brittany? And she was like, okay, right? She was like the loyalty was to the team and to the
That's
process.
that's awesome.
And so she was like, oh my gosh, like this is my dream, like as a team leader. Like every team leader wants to get out of production and can't. And so, like for her, she was like, absolutely, like you go work with Brittany. Like this is awesome. And so, like, I just want you to get a clear idea of like what this looks like when it's executed, right? So, grabbed a new listing. First thing the owner says, "Have we met?" I watch all of your videos. I feel like we have, but I don't actually think so, right? So, like this person feels like they know them. I've been stopped several times by people I didn't even know follow me on social media to tell me they love my content. I haven't even done 30 pieces. I haven't even posted 30 pieces. I have almost the same business in my active pipeline through mid-March that I closed all of last year, right? Just left a listing meeting. The wife said to me, I told my husband I didn't want to work with anyone but you. All the videos you put out are like you're inside my brain, right? So this is what like resonance looks like.
Yep.
So once we nail the message, then we actually get to nail the actual content. But the number one thing that stops people from posting on social media is fear of judgment,
1000%.
right? And so I get so many people who are like, I don't like what I look like on camera. I don't like what I sound like on camera. And my answer to that is twofold. Me too. I don't like what I look like on camera and I don't like what I sound like on camera. But at the end of the day, like, I hate to tell you, that's what you look like and it's what you sound like, right? Like,
But am I gonna sound dumb? Is this gonna
right.
sound
Am I going to sound
stupid?
dumb? And like the reality is that you are not going to sound dumb if you nail your messaging,
Hmm.
right? Your messaging determines everything that you do or say. And so, but the reality too, on top of all of this, is it doesn't matter what you're posting about. You can be posting only about your dogs. You're not going to get business from that, but everyone is still judging you. They're like, look at this crazy person who only posts about her dogs, right? And so it doesn't really matter what you're doing on social media. There is a certain level of judgment, and that's okay. Let them, right? Um, I think a lot of it is just like you want to get to a point where like you want to be successful so badly that it doesn't matter if someone has an opinion. I created a piece of content literally this morning about how I make money every time someone trolls me and how I use my trolls to make more money. Right. And so you kind of have to get to a point where, like, if you're not running a lot of cold traffic, you're not going to get trolls. And everything that we're talking about today is organic. And if you are getting trolls and it's like your Aunt Judy, like, just block her. Right. Like, at the end of the day, just block her. But all of my trolls come on my paid traffic. They come on like cold audience paid traffic where, I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm stupid and real estate agents are ruining the world and like I get all of it. But at the end of the day too, like, they're just pushing my ads out. Right? And the reality too, from even from organic social media, is most of the people that you work with will be strangers, or they'll be people you haven't spoken to in a long time. And
Mm.
there's two different types of people that follow you. You have your sharers and you have your shoppers, and you need both, right? Your sharers are people who are going to like and engage and share your stuff, right? Like maybe it's your Aunt Sally. Aunt Judy's being mean to you online. Aunt Sally's your biggest fan. And she's gonna comment. I have one aunt like this, comments on everything. She is my biggest fan. Um, and then you've got your shoppers, who are the people who are actually like legitimately a potential client. They are lurking. They're not commenting. They're not liking. They are slowly binging silently your content, and they are going to show up in your inbox unannounced. Out of nowhere, they're going to be like, you're going to be like, you're following me? Like, I have literally not ever seen your name. So, with that being said, okay, great. We've got all this background information. What do you post? Like, what is actually going to be the type of content? It's not this. Showing people that you have business to get more business is fundamentally insane, right? Like, just listed, just sold content. And if you break this down by numbers, which I did recently on a training, and people were absolutely shocked. Let's say that you post something and it goes out to 10% of your audience, because that's how the algorithm works. It goes out to 10% of your audience. 3% of your audience at any one time is potentially looking to move. You post like a property in a specific price point with a specific number of bedrooms with, whatever. The reality is that that post is only relevant to 0.01% of the people who it's being pushed out in front of. You want to know why your engagement's down on Instagram? Because your relevancy to your audience is in the toilet. Because you're posting properties that have absolutely nothing to do with what they're looking for. And so a lot of the time, and I say market updates, I don't mean market updates like a really well thought out curated market update. I mean like infographics. Like, your
Hmm.
brokerage sends you an infographic
The
by
stock
email.
stuff,
Exactly.
the
Like,
templates.
here's a tile that is for the entire state of New York and is relevant to no one. Post
Uh,
this on your Instagram, right? And so a lot of the time, what we're doing, again, because we're trying to speak to everyone, we are speaking to no one, and our relevancy to our audience gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And they don't work. None of those previous things work because they're not targeted to anyone, right? And your ideal clients, and you're the same way. If you go on Instagram or on Facebook or TikTok or wherever, you are only interested in what is relevant to you or pertains to you. Everything else you just scroll past. And so basically what people are telling you is that your content isn't relevant to them. And I want you to take a look that if the majority of your audience is other real estate agents, or the majority of your likes and comments are from other real estate agents, you really have to work on retraining the platform, because the platform thinks that that's who you want your audience to be. And that's why, like, we tell people all the time, like, unfriend as many real estate agents as you can that aren't in your immediate market and who you aren't actually friends with. Because what you're doing is you're rebuilding an audience that you are actually relevant to, and that you are essentially building an audience of ideal clients instead. So then now with content, like, Sadie is a perfect example, right? She was almost a brand new agent and she was getting crickets on social media, but she was just copying what everyone else was doing. And In less than a year, she generated six figures from social media. And she didn't want a cold call. She didn't want a door knock right from the start. And she started creating content that spoke to our ideal clients. And in less than a year, like I said, she was making over six figures from her organic content alone. So why was this possible? We got crystal clear on her niche. We identified the biggest problems that they have. We identified her Instagram as the main source of how she would generate business. And she just started constantly creating content for her ideal clients,
Mhm.
right? Sadie now gets all of her clients from social media. She's gone viral from personal content. I think this reel, since I took this screenshot, now has over 4 million views. She's been featured in Newsweek, right? From a post that is not only relevant to her niche, but also was a personal piece of content. Um, and it was just because she followed exactly this. There's three main pillars that I'm going to take you through from a content standpoint that is going to give you the structure for what you should be posting. Number one is authority content. So this is your expert content, right? It helps your ideal clients understand a part of your process, overcome an objection or a myth. Myth busting content in real estate performs super well. Like what is something that everyone thinks is true, but is actually not true? Like the truth behind open houses. What does sold over
Mhm.
asking really mean? Like stuff like that, where you're pulling back the curtain, right? Or they're learning something that they didn't already know. The most powerful content you can post from an authority standpoint is belief shifting content. What do they believe that is actually not true? And how are you shifting that belief into something that actually is true?
I feel like there's a lot of preconceived notions.
100%. Everybody has this idea of what real estate, like what is true about real estate, about the process, about agents, about everything. You could do like all of your authority content on belief shifting content and never be done. Authority content will get the least amount of engagement, and that is okay. Your personal content will always outperform your authority content, and that's cool.
Hmm.
It still needs to be there. It still needs to be a minimum of a third of the content that you're posting. But we're not doing tips and tricks content anymore. It is just it's oversaturated. It's been done too much, and people will scroll by it. So these are just some examples, right? Why selling your second home in a down market might actually be better. See, there's not a ton of engagement on this.
Mm.
You got a client from it. Um, Literally posted this less than 24 hours later, he had a DM, right? So it's not necessarily going to be the like content that blows up. The content that doesn't blow up, but that is very niche and very like direct, that's the content that will get you clients.
Hmm.
Um, Busting credit score myths, right? Stuff like that. Um, all of this kind of stuff from an authority standpoint will, like I said, not perform really well engagement wise, but the lurkers love it. And then you've got personal content. So this is your second bucket or your second pillar. Personal content reveals a piece of who you are, shares something that happened in your life, gives your opinion or philosophy on life or business, and shares with the world who you are outside of your job. Right? And so this can be all kinds of different things. Like people want to work with people they like.
Hmm.
If someone hates you, but you are the best agent, they're still not going to work with you. And so the personal content really gives someone a reason to almost like latch onto you. And people move every 8.5 years on average. So you are only relevant to each person in your audience every 8.5 years. So why do they keep following you?
Hmm.
They keep following you for your personal content
Hmm.
because they keep following you for you, even when they don't need the authority content. And then we've got social proof. You being posting a whole bunch of videos and photos of you getting an award from your brokerage is not going to get you clients. It's going to get you a lot of hand clapping from your friends and family and from other agents. What works is other people saying you're awesome, that you absolutely were like the best agent for them. So
Your
testimonials,
community standing up for you.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
Repeats, referrals, This is why I refer to her all the time. This is what it was like to work with her. Testimonials, case studies, and PR. So testimonials, always screenshots. You can use Canva for your carousels and make them designed, but your testimonials should be screenshots. Do you see how many screenshots I used in here that were ugly? They are more trustworthy than some designed Canva slide where you have copied and pasted their words. Case studies are probably the most underutilized, but the most powerful type of content. Um, HGTV is an entire network of case studies. You are living vicariously through every single person you watch on that. So I live in the Bahamas. I'm originally from Toronto. I lived in Toronto for my whole life. I moved to the Bahamas about 5 years ago. The number one thing that I did before I moved here was watch every single episode of Bahamas Life that exists, right? Because literally what I was doing is I was like prepping myself and I was thinking, if I can do this, if these people can do this, so can I. So case studies are a super, super great way to highlight your services in a non-salesy way while making your client the hero. And then PR. If you're not actively going after PR in your business, start. Every single journalist out there is also a content creator, and they are
Hmm.
always looking for content. And so you could be on a podcast, you can do a webinar with someone, you can be featured in the newspaper. All of those people who are constantly in the public eye as like a real estate expert, they went after it. They went and made those connections. They didn't just wait for someone to approach them. Once you build up a certain amount of PR, you will get approached. But in the beginning, you've got to go out there and have those conversations and send those emails.
Hmm.
And so the winning formula, if I'm going to break it all down and make it one big happy thing, is optimized profile, which we talked about, client-centric messaging, which we talked about, and then you're captivating and convincing content in your three different content buckets: authority, personal, social proof. And then lastly is consistency. You have to post 5 days a week. You cannot, like I said, use random acts of marketing and expect your audience to not only recognize you, but also feel connected to you. Um, and so here's an example of some PR. And real estate is also hyper local, right? You can't build a global audience and expect to have local appeal. So put location tags on everything that you're doing. Use everything that you have in order to like geotag your location always.
Hmm.
Use everything that you have in your power to build an audience that is 100% local to you. Because it's not about going viral. Could you go viral? Absolutely. But do you need to go viral? No, you actually don't. Um, so if you want to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram. This was an old screenshot, but you can find me on Instagram. It's literally just my name, Jess Linnabel. I would love to talk to you. I give away a ton of stuff on Instagram all the time. Or, if you want to chat, you can just email me. I'm a pretty chill human, as you can probably tell. You can send me an email. We can talk about your marketing plan. Or you can just follow me on Instagram and we can chit chat there. That's the
I
whole
feel
shebang for
I
me.
feel I feel like a lot of the struggle comes when we're trying to go viral.
Yeah, and you don't need to. I've
Hmm.
never quote unquote gone viral, and that's okay.
Gosh. So let's do a quick recap.
Yeah, let's recap it.
We walked through sort of three must-have strategies to attract consistent clients from Instagram, how to build your attraction system, how to create content that connects and resonates with your target audience, and then how to convert your audience into actual clients. Um, I think you nailed it when you said remembering that consistency and clarity are going to win every time.
Yeah.
Um, if you're expecting to get results, if you're 60 days in, 90 days in, and you're wondering, what the hell, why isn't this working? I haven't gone viral yet. Why is everyone else having more success than me? I think that's when you're setting yourself up for pain and failure. be patient with the results and stay consistent with the output.
100%. And if you're not getting people messaging you being like, "Oh my gosh, this post," or like, "This one was so good," or "I felt like you were talking to me in this one," go back to your messaging,
Hmm.
right? Because there's levels of resonance. And if people are, if you know that people aren't going in and binging your content, it means that there's something in your messaging that needs to be stronger.
Hmm. I personally, I post a lot of personal stuff and I love when I interact with people. And before we even talk business, running into them at an event, etc., they always ask, how's the family? How are the kids?
Yeah.
How's the house?
Yeah.
So there's something there to be said about personality. People work with people they know, like, and trust.
Yep.
Um,
And if you don't post any personal content, how do you expect them to know you, like you, or trust you?
exactly, 100%. So let's connect what we learned kind of to your marketing system. With Real Geeks, your website becomes the engine that turns followers into leads. Every listing comes with an opportunity for, what was I going to say here? What am I trying to say here? Um, you have a hyperlocal website. If we've talked to in previous webinars with like Jason Ferris, who's built an amazing hyperlocal community. If I was in your shoes, or I was in your shoes a decade ago, I got started. I was a loan officer before the subprime market collapse. To me, everything we do in real estate, everything you do in lending is content. Literally, our daily interactions with clients is content. The daily questions people are asking is content. It's not 1,000 different challenges. It's 10 questions asked 1,000 different ways.
Yep.
There's so much content. We're not for a lack of content, I guess is my point. Um,
Everything is content.
Everything is content. So when you're creating content for your website, and you should be creating content for your website, you should also be documenting some of that content that you share, like on social, et cetera, et cetera. What we'll do is we'll take the heavy work out of, building a beautiful hyperlocal website. You create the blog post content and then you share that content on social. With your Real Geek site, clients can, favorite properties, they can share them with you. They can set up instant alerts for new listings and any price changes. It's like giving your followers their own personalized home search experience and keeping your name front and center every step of the way. Whether you're a single agent, whether you have a small team, or whether you have a big team and you want to scale this for all of your agents. And then my favorite feature that I'll never stop talking about is our home valuation landing pages. If you want to attract sellers, this is one of my favorite lead gen items. This home value tool will allow homeowners to instantly see what their property is worth. And I've said this 1,000 times before, and I'll keep saying it again. Every homeowner out there today has a preconceived notion of what their home is worth and where they're getting it from. They're getting it from the big Z. They want to know what their home is worth, just the way they want to know what their checking balance might be worth, what their stock price is worth. It's something that they check every single day. It's their biggest asset. So this is one of the most effective ways to capture interest and attention. And what I will say is the accuracy of the value isn't the important thing. Um, Again, they already have a preconceived notion of what their home is worth. What I want to get is capture their attention, and I can follow up with a customized and personalized script. And that script I've shared with you before, but I'll rattle it off to you again. It might be an email that says, hey Jess, thank you for requesting a home valuation report on my website, ricardoshomevalues.com. You may have looked at it and thought, well, my home value is worth way more than this. Well, here's what you need to know. Realtors and Zillow and worse, other real estate professional are using tools like this to figure out your home's value as well. But for a home like yours, technology isn't enough. You need human expertise and storytelling to inspire people to see your home's value beyond the algorithm. If you'd like an expert human valuation of your home, reply to this email and we'll take care of the rest. This is just a conversation starter, and then
Mhm.
it's finessing the language to open up and have a conversation.
You could literally just say, like, "Do you think this is wrong? Let me know."
Literally. I'm the wordsmith and just that's perfect. But
Yeah.
literally, you could literally just say that. But you'll get access to all of these tools with your Real Geeks platform. My favorite is an app that is built for you, ready to go, ready to use, et cetera, et cetera. So here's what we have for you today for a limited time. When you get signed up for Real Geeks, here's what you get on our single agent plan. You'll get $100 off every month for the first 6 to 12 month term. It's normally $250 setup fee. You get it for $1. On a small agent team plan, you get 150 off every month. Again, 6 to 12 month term, and it's a $1 setup fee instead of $250. And our on our big team plan, you'll get $200 off every month. And again, it's a dollar setup fee. It's normally $500. So start a free trial. Your site gets up and running in less than 2 weeks. You can start a trial for $1 and then pick a plan, and you'll get up and running. We didn't get into it today because a lot of what we talked about is organic growth strategies, but you'll also have access to our Facebook marketing tool. If you want access to my Facebook ad cheat sheets, I'm happy to send those to you. But Real Geeks also comes in with built-in Facebook marketing tool. It'll give you the opportunity to generate leads off of your properties and everything else. The way to get this is realgeeks.com/bueno. Again, realgeeks.com/bueno. Um, and if any of y'all have any questions, holler. If not, Jess, you're amazing. You're always amazing.
You're amazing.
We're gonna say this to each other for the next 10 minutes. But yeah, no, you're always full of wisdom. I love just your energy, your smile. You obviously have enthusiasm for what you do. You're very good at what you do. So thank
Thank
you
you.
for taking the time to drop some knowledge with us today.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Awesome. Make it a great day, you guys. Make it a great week, and we'll catch you on the next webinar.
Bye, guys.
Bye.